Coming up in this episode, I share the best decision I've ever made, along with the results of another free promotion on Kobo and experiments with pre-orders on Amazon. Welcome to Amelia's behind-the-scenes author diary, an exclusive look at the behind-the-scenes misadventures of a 30-something mystery author. Discover how close she is to releasing her latest novel, hear exciting details about upcoming writing projects, and discover the lessons she has learned along her writing journey so you don't have to make the same mistakes. You can find the episode show notes and lots more information at authorpreneurpodcast.com/podcast. Hello writers, after months of frustration with the slow speed of my website, I took the plunge and moved web hosts. And in this episode, I discussed the dramas with moving from one web host to another. Spoiler alert, I'm happy with my move and I'm wondering why I didn't do it earlier. But the move took some time. In September, I found myself lured in by another mystery and thriller free book promotion on Kobo. This month, I started experimenting with pre-orders. My efforts to chase book reviews are underway and I share my thoughts on this activity so far. On top of all of this, I discovered a new beta reading program that I'm excited about. So stay tuned for all of this and much more. Just to let you know, this episode was recorded on Thursday the 28th of January, so this show is primarily me looking back at September. In the same spirit as the previous episodes, there is a backlog with the show due to the lockdown that we're all facing. After a while, I've managed to figure out how to work from home with my husband and do most of the things I would typically achieve. If you're on YouTube, you'll notice that I've gone back to an audio-only version of the podcast. I've had to pull the plug on the video podcast episode because I couldn't do everything and something had to go. Throughout this episode, I'll be referencing tools and services that I've used. If you're interested in reading the transcript or would like more links to anything that I've mentioned in the show, then check out the very long blog post or edited transcript at authorpreneurpodcast.com/BTS036. And if you're new to this podcast, then I want to say a huge thank you for stopping by and trying out my show. To those of you who've been faithfully listening, thank you for regularly listening in and supporting me. Your support means more to me than you know. During my 2-week break, I got stuck into a few administration tasks, which I will get into in a moment. I must confess, during my break, I purchased Animal Crossing and a Nintendo Switch Lite in Coral, and I'm happy to report that I'm addicted. For me, the game is a form of escapism. It's a nice break from the chaos of the world. In September, I was still scared to go outside after the pandemic restrictions lifted in London because I felt people weren't taking it seriously. The streets were crowded and people weren't socially distancing. It was a source of anxiety for me, but back to Animal Crossing. Walking along the beach, socialising with other residents, fishing and butterfly catching are my favourite activities at the moment. Overall, I found it way too easy to spend several hours a day wandering around my island doing my daily chores and trying to pay off my Animal Crossing mortgage. At the peak of my frustration, I decided to give up on my website host, Bluehost. Between the slow loading pages and changes to pages not saving correctly, and as a result taking a long time to save, I've had enough. Since 2015, I've been using the Divi theme for both my websites. The theme is image heavy, and due to my experience, I would not recommend Bluehost as a web host if you're using this theme. Elegant Themes, the creator of the Divi theme, recommends using SiteGround. SiteGround has a special hosting package for users of Divi and WordPress. For those of you who are unfamiliar with the theme, you can only use Divi theme with WordPress. It's not compatible with all the other things that are out there. I switched from Bluehost to SiteGround with the help of a step-by-step article created by Starter Mum blog. You can find a link to this helpful blog post in the show notes in your favourite podcasting app and over on the blog post. After I finished migrating my sites, I decided to change my URL from ameliahay.com to authorpreneurpodcast.com using a redirect. a redirect needs to be set up in the DNS records of the domain's host. For instance, if you purchase domains from Bluehost and host your website with SiteGround, the redirect needs to be created with Bluehost. That wasn't possible with Bluehost according to a help desk operator, and that's how helpful the desk was with Bluehost. I've been wanting to make the change for quite some time, but I knew I would need to change web hosting providers in order to do that. Naturally, I kept putting it off. At the moment, I'm using both websites, authoradhey.com and authorpreneurpodcast.com, with the same package, and it's costing me less than £300 a year. Actually, since September, I've purchased a URL for my cozy mystery author pen name, and that is ameliadhay.com. I know it's not technically a huge change, but I just wanted to write the cozy mystery and the straight mystery under different pen names just because the audiences are slightly different. My James Lalonde series has a bit more violence, gore, and a little bit of sex, whereas the cozy mysteries are very clean. Because they're technically different audiences, they require a different pen name. You get it. Both original websites are now much faster, which is giving me a better website score with Google. The entire process took 2 weeks, partly because I did it all on my own. As a part of the process, I needed to go back and change all of the links to the images on my site due to the URL change. On top of this, I needed to change all of the links in my show notes for every episode of this podcast in 2 places within Blueberry, which hosts the audio for the podcast episodes. That's all 60 episodes with multiple links, including podcast artwork URL, blog post URL, and too many other links to mention. And I need to go through and change the text on all of my Pinterest images for the podcast, but I'm doing that slowly over time. Due to the change in URL, I set up authorpreneurpodcast.com as a domain alias with Google Workspace, which was Google for Work. A domain alias means I have multiple email addresses for one account. For instance, I could have an email like info@authoradhey.com, info@authorpreneurpodcast, and technically they're both the same email address. However, I can send and reply to emails from both of those aliases. All I need to do is select the address when I compose an email. But setting this up was a nightmare. Because of the documentation Google provides isn't great, but luckily I have my husband to help me out. If you would like me to do a video tutorial on how to create a domain alias and set it up with Gmail for Work or Google Workspace, then let me know by commenting over on the blog post or tweet me at writer80hay. If you've heard something in this episode that was helpful to you and you'd like to support the show, then buy me a coffee for as little as £1 at buymeacoffee.com/author80hay. For the second time this year, I got sucked into doing another free mystery and thriller list promotion on Kobo. What can I say? I couldn't resist. It still costs £3. The free promotion ran from the 8th of September to the 13th of September. My goal was to try and build a readership on Kobo and get more book reviews, hopefully of a positive variety. To participate in the promotions on Kobo, all you need to do is email Kobo and they will give you access to the promotions tab if you don't have it already. During this period, I received an extra 2 ratings of Kobo, which brings my book's rating to 3.6 stars. So far, as of September, Missing has 1 5-star, 7 4-star, 1 3-star, and 2 2-star ratings. It appears that readers either love or hate the ending of my book. Some of the ratings are from the first edition, which had a few loose ends that I overlooked during the editing process. At the end of the promotion, my book sat at the number 215 spot in the mystery and suspense international in the UK, and the total downloads was 311. I also set the price of Missing free on Apple, Google Play, and Barnes & Noble. No other advertising was lined up during this promotion. For quite some time now, I've been considering making Duplicity available as a pre-order on all stores to see if that would encourage readers to take a chance on Missing. In the end, I decided not to launch my book until after the US elections because readers will be too distracted by the outcome. At the time, I was thinking of releasing the book in the first week of December. After listening to a couple of episodes of the Six Figure Author podcast devoted to pre-orders, I decided to set up a pre-order on Apple, Kobo, Google Play, and Barnes & Noble. I'm going to see how it goes and report back. To be honest, I'm hoping the book 2 pre-order will encourage people to buy book 1 because I've advertised as a part of a series. Hopefully the pre-order should show that I'm serious about writing the series. For those of you who are interested, I'll link those 2 episodes of the Six Figure Author podcast that are devoted to talking about pre-orders in the show notes in your favourite podcasting app and over on the blog posts. I'm sad to report that I'm not happy with the service I purchased from authorsxp.com. There appears to be a lot of freebie seekers on the list. So far, I've received no reviews from the Elite Reader program between signing up in August and the 19th of September. And I've received no downloads in BookFunnel, so people are requesting the book but not downloading it. A little strange. I feel like I just gave Authors XP another $50 for no reason, just like with the beta reading service that I purchased earlier in the year. On the 19th of September, I emailed Amy pointing out the issue about sending readers personalised emails and the lack of downloads. In response, I think she might have sent out another email to readers because I had significantly more readers express interest towards the end of the month. Towards the end of September, I received 2 positive reviews and 1 1-star rating on Amazon out of 24 readers. To be honest, Booksprout was a better option because I only got 1 ARC reviewer, but the review was amazing and it was a detailed review. As of the end of September, I received no reviews from Lola's Blog Tours Review Opportunities service. During September, I received 1 download according to my book stats on BookFunnel, but no reviews at the moment. Starting from Friday the 18th of September, I did 28.5 hours of writing across 8 days. As a result, I contributed an extra 2,446 words to my current draft of Duplicity. Within that word count is a mixture of new scenes and rewrites to existing scenes, as well as a self-line edit. During the last half of the month, I wrote a new scene from the point of view of the villain in first person. It's a short scene, but I realised it's necessary to the story, and I felt the reader needed to see another scene from the point of view of the villain. After that, I added 2 new scenes to the second half of Act 2 to tie up a couple of loose ends because I didn't want to leave all the loose threads until the end of the novel. This month, I found a new program which allows you to manage the distribution of manuscripts to beta readers and track and manage feedback. It's called Hey Beta. The program costs $70 per year, which gives you 2 pen names, 25 readers, and unlimited books. So far, I'm loving the program, but I'm only using it with 1 beta reader. I can see how it could be useful with a team of beta readers. Once I have more experience with the program, I'll give you a rundown of what I like and dislike about the service. For those of you who are interested in using programs like this, I'll leave a link to Hey Beta in the show notes in your favourite podcasting app and over on the blog post. So that's all the tasks I completed in terms of writing, book marketing, and email marketing. During the next month, I want to make progress on revising Duplicity, which is book 2 in the James Lalonde series, and continue working on my author mindset. The next episode will be another diary episode where I'll continue to discuss my writing and book marketing endeavors. If you have any questions or have tips on book marketing that you'd love to share with me, please come over to the blog post at authorpreneurpodcast.com/BTS036 and share your thoughts in the comments section. Thank you for listening and happy reading and writing, everybody. Bye. Thank you for listening to Amelia's Behind the Scenes Author Diary. You can find the episode show notes, back catalogue episodes, and lots more information at authorpreneurpodcast.com/podcast. I'm your host, Amelia, and I'll see you in the next Behind the Scenes Author Diary episode.